With new stats that 1 in 31 kids are now being diagnosed with autism, we must all rise up and start now on keeping them social as possible anyway. She's been on the show before, and I so welcome her back again. Dr. Laugeson, please welcome to the show. She's the founder of the PEERS program and the clinical professor out at UCLA. Hi, Dr. Laugeson. How you doing?
I'm well. How are you, Gina?
I'm so grateful that you're back on the show. I know you're a busy woman. For those who aren't aware of the PEERS program, care to share what PEERS is all about?
Sure. PEERS is an acronym. It stands for the Program for the Education and Enrichment of Relational Skills. It's what it sounds like. It's a program really focused on helping people to enhance and develop skills related to social relationships. And it's kind of unique because it's one of the only evidence-based or research-supported social skills programs really across the planet.
I think it can apply to everyone, not just our neurodivergent, neurospicy folks, right?
I love your term neurospicy. I really do. Every time you say it, I just feel it. Yeah, it absolutely does. In fact, I mean, a lot of my research is focused on working with autistic youth from preschool through adulthood, but really our programs are used with anybody who sort of wants to learn a little bit more about how to develop social connections.
And it's important once we make the social connection, how to continue that social connection, right? That's almost as important as initially making that contact.
Yeah, I mean, it's not just about, in the case of friendships, making friends, it's keeping friends, it's developing closer, stronger connections with others. Absolutely.
I've come in contact with so many great schools, transition success academies, and everybody's using your PEERS program. I'm excited for you to share about the PEERS preschooler program. What's that all about?
Yeah, that's our newest publicly available program. And when I say new, I've been studying this program for almost 15 years. So it's not that.
Wow.
Yeah, but I mean, we try to do it the right way. We don't just develop programs and disseminate and share them, but we study them, really rigorously to make sure they work before we share them publicly. And so this program is for kids 4 to 6 years of age. It has been studied primarily with kids in the autism spectrum, but really, again, it's used with anyone who's kind of struggling with making and keeping friends and, wants to learn the skills. Like many of our programs, it's a parent-assisted program. So while the kids are learning about making and keeping friends, parents are learning how to be good social coaches to their kids and how to get them enrolled in play groups and organizing play dates for their kids and just providing good social coaching. But it's all focused on making and keeping friends. And because these are 4 to 6-year-old kids, we got to keep them engaged in the process of learning. So everything is sort of puppet facilitated. So we have lots of puppets that sort of guide the lessons for each session.
That's good, because I can remember when Lyric was that age, it was really more about parallel play. And in some instances, it still is.
Yeah. I mean, parallel play is pretty, developmentally appropriate at certain ages. But by the age of 4, you expect kids to be engaging in more, spontaneous and sort of cooperative play with their peers. But you're right. Parallel play can, go through the lifespan, right? I mean, look at video games, for example.
I was just going to say.
Being on their phones, I mean, that's very parallel play. They're not interacting with each other. So we got to work on that pretty much across the lifespan these days.
With me today, Dr. Laugeson. She is the founder of the PEERS program and the clinical director out at UCLA. When we get back, we're going to talk a little bit about PEERS for dating, as well as when you can get trained in the PEERS program. Stay with me.
Don's Tree Service is awesome.
Love Don's Tree Service. They've come out for a giant oak tree removal, another for some debris removal.
One thing I really appreciated about Don's Tree Service, they come, they take those trees down, and they take everything away.
For a free estimate, call Don's Tree Service, 770-413-TREE, or find them online at donstree.com.
Welcome back to Life with the Spectrum. I'm your host, Gina Cavalli. With me today, Dr. Laugeson. Back again. You are the clinical director out at UCLA and the founder of the PEERS program. You've been doing your lifelong research on this, haven't you?
Yeah. We celebrated our 20th anniversary with PEERS last summer. It's been a labor of love, and the program is constantly growing and changing. It's wonderful.
Is it fulfilling for you, like every corner you turn?
Oh yeah. I mean, it's my life's work for sure. And I honestly, sometimes I just like, I can't believe this is my job. Like, how do I get to do this? This is so much fun. You mentioned Peers for Dating, for example. And, who would ever have guessed when I was younger that I would be teaching dating etiquette, to folks. So it's a lot of fun.
So walk us through the peers dating for a second, Dr. Laugeson, because I work with young adults every month with my speed dating events, and there's a real art to even just asking someone out on a date and then going out on that date, and then if they want to continue dating and what that relationship and the health of that relationship should look like. So I'd love to hear your thoughts on this.
Yeah, I mean, I think like a lot of social skills, a lot of people think that things like dating, there's sort of an art to it. But really, we kind of break it down to more of a science. And the truth is that when people are, asking others out on dates or going on dates, they're kind of following a sort of etiquette, like rules and steps, social behavior, whether they're realizing it or not. And so a lot of that for many people comes sort of automatic or it's learned over, time through observation or trial and error. But for many of ours, particularly neurodivergent or neurospicy, as you like to call it.
Love that name.
I might have to steal that name. I love it.
You can steal it, girl.
But I'll give you credit, Gina. Love it. But for our neurospicy folks, they might need a little bit more help in kind of navigating that sort of social world. And so we try to break things down into these very concrete rules and stuff. Even something as simple as flirting. There's steps that people follow and rules. So I'm going to walk you through one of these just to give you an example.
I love it. Let's date.
Okay, let's do it. So imagine, a lot of people meet online these days, right? That's pretty cool.
For sure.
People sometimes meet IRL in real life, right? And so imagine you're at, this crowded place and you see someone across the room and, you want to show that you're interested. Well, people can flirt, with their eyes, like across the room. So what would be the first thing that we would do to show that we're interested in this person? Be looking with our eyes, right? So Gina, you're looking at someone with your eyes across a crowded room. How do you show that you're sort of friendly or interested in them? What would you do next?
I mean, the first thing I would smile. I would smile and just kind of like cock my head, maybe like an opening to come over. Maybe, I don't know.
Yeah, that's good. No, the smile is important, right? Because if you're just staring at them and not smiling, that's creepy, right?
Creepy.
That's super creepy. So you want to smile. But we also discovered, interestingly, in this research that you don't want to do like a big, huge, teeth-bearing smile, right? Because that could be a little coming on too strong. So it's usually just like the slight smile. Like I even sometimes say like maybe no teeth because that could be kind of risky, but a little slight smile. And then do you want to keep staring at this person and smiling? Or do you think you do something else to show that you're kind of safe?
I would maybe wave. I don't know. It's like, and then if I don't catch their attention, I would look on and say, okay, maybe I'd look back again, see if they were looking. I don't know.
Yeah, exactly. So you got it. So basically you make this eye contact, you give a slight smile that shows that, you're friendly, you're interested, and then you look away. And that shows that you're safe, right? You're not like a creepy stalker across the room, the big
right.
smile. But then that's not enough. The next step is to look back and repeat the whole cycle again. And that's the act of flirting, is make a little eye contact, smile, look away. Look back, make a smile, look away. And when you're doing that, that's the act of flirting. It's not just like smiling out with someone one time. You're not flirting.
Yeah, you can catch this on any Hallmark movie too, by the way, right?
I love a good Hallmark movie. Maybe this is why.
What we come across at Table Talk are adults meet one another. They like one another. They have things in common. Yeah. And then I exchange numbers with them because they've matched. Mm-hmm. And then sometimes it doesn't go anywhere. Or one person is too aggressive. So so we try to tell them, okay, if you've already texted and they haven't reached out, remember some people are busy. Give it a couple of days. Maybe reach out again. If they don't reach back out, they might not be as interested as they may have initially thought they were, right? So rejection is real and it's tough. I've been rejected. Maybe you've been. It's tough on anybody. So where do they go from there? Do you teach rejection in peers dating?
Of course, you have to. It's dating. Even with friendships or employment, any kind of social interaction, there's going to be, different levels of rejection.
Right.
And so the way we talk about that in peers is that dating is a choice, right? Do we get to date everyone? No. Does everyone get to date us? No. It's a choice. And someone who's not really returning our text or doesn't seem interested isn't a good choice for us. So we need to just adjust the radar and move on. We're not going to be able to date everyone. And we have to go into these relationships in that way of knowing that, not everybody's going to be a good fit. If it was that easy, everybody would be coupled up. It's not easy, even if you're not neurospicy, right? It's usually kind of challenging to date. So yeah, you have to normalize that right away.
Well, I think that coming through the Peers Preschooler program now, and then the Peers program, and Peers for Dating, I mean, what's next for you, Dr. Laugeson? What are you researching? I mean, just give us a little something.
Yeah, I'll give you a little something. So, one of the others programs that we're currently researching is Peers for Careers, which is a college to career transition program. And right now, again, a lot of my research starts with autistic youth or neurodivergent, in this case, job seekers. But really, because the skills we're teaching are what we call ecologically valid, meaning that these are just the skills people use to get a job or to date or to make friends. They really apply to anybody who wants to learn the skills. So we always open up these programs ultimately clinically. They get researched with other groups of people, but we're really excited about Peers for Careers for a number of reasons. Number one reason is we know that, autistic adults, job seekers, are highly either unemployed or underemployed. Some estimates are up to 85% of autistic adults are unemployed. But many of these individuals really want to obtain, gainful employment. So we teach soft skills related to finding and maintaining employment. So, things like creating resumes or even just simply choosing a career. As well as things like job interviewing and organizational skills, stress management. But it's not just enough to focus on the soft skills for finding and maintaining employment. We're also in a current study that we're doing, funded through the National Institutes of Health. We're partnering with our colleagues at Texas A&M at the National Therapeutics Manufacturing Center, and we're teaching hard skills related to biomanufacturing. So we're actually giving them some hard skills training, and on top of that, we're working with our industry partners at Pfizer and Johnson & Johnson on setting up all of these job seekers for doing job interviews with people in biomanufacturing like Pfizer and Johnson & Johnson, and hoping to get them some employment opportunities and at the very least some internship opportunities.
Yeah, good jobs, 401ks, health benefits. These are all things everybody deserves to have. And that interview process can be daunting because some of the questions aren't necessarily built where anyone can understand them. So I'm glad that teaching the soft skills and now the hard skills. I adore you, and I think you're a force in what you do, Dr. Laugeson. I really do, and I think everybody should go through the Peers program. Let's quickly transition to how does one go through the Peers program or get peer trained so that they can bring the program to either their school or their academy or wherever they're working and living.
Oh, well, thank you for those kind words. Always love chatting with you. Well, there's lots of opportunities. So we do trainings for professionals through our certified training seminars. They're 3 days in length. We actually conduct a lot of them over Zoom. So that's kind of nice and makes it a little bit more accessible to professionals. They can reach out to the UCLA Peers Clinic to get more information. And then for families and individuals interested in learning more about our programs, we have peer certified providers across the globe. We've trained tens of thousands of people over these 20 plus years. And so on our UCLA Peers Clinic website, we have a registry of certified providers. You can find people in your area. And also we do, even telehealth groups in the UCLA Peers Clinic. So you can always access programs through UCLA. But also if you want something in person and you don't live in the Los Angeles area, there are other providers out there as well.
Really quick, I had a question though. Like, say for instance, you're just a mom. You're just a mom sitting there, you're watching this show and you're like, I kind of want to read one of these books or maybe start thinking about possibly doing this and bringing it to my community if it's not already there, which I can't imagine it isn't. But where can someone get a peers book or a manual to see if they might be interested?
Yeah, I mean, so I have 4 published manuals on the peers curriculum for preschoolers, for adolescents. We have a school-based program and also a young adult program. I have a book called The Science of Making Friends. It is literally written for families like what you just described that maybe want to learn a little bit more about the skills that we teach in peers, but maybe either can't access a program or it doesn't work for some other reason. So that's an option. And then we have a free app. It's just called the Peers app. Yeah, you can just check it out it's for iOS and Android devices, and it's in the App Store. You can check out some of the skills that we teach related to friendships for adolescents and adults are in that app. And then on our website, we have over 100 role play videos that, again, are just publicly available to people if you want to take a look at some of the skills that we teach and learn more.
Wow. I mean, the world is your oyster when you have something kind of backing you up. And I feel like that's with peers, for all of our neurospicy kids and adults. Really, the future, I feel like with the new stats out there, we have to kind of build and prepare. And I feel like you've been doing this for your entire career and life. And so you're on the forefront of it, girl.
Well, thank you. And I mean, I love talking about this stuff, so I appreciate the opportunity. I think it's also really important too, to kind of talk when you're talking about these types of programs to really acknowledge, the important role of neurodiversity too in all of this, and that people have different ways of thinking and interacting with the world. And there's no one right way of doing things. Like we have our sort of set of strategies in peers, and we talk about socially helpful versus socially risky behavior. But ultimately, using skills like the ones we teach in peers should always be about choice. So we don't want to force these ideas onto people. These are just options and tools that people can use if they're interested.
Yeah, because I know that you've gone over, like, what is it like to be bullied? Or what if someone doesn't want to play with you? Yeah. What if everybody turns their back, kind of thing? And so these are real issues that come up for families. Yeah. Not just, we've had to tackle them right here in my house with Lyric and some of the neighborhood kids. So it can be really tough and tricky, but you got to stay the course, and you pick up these great tools through peers and through other things that you just kind of whatever works for your family and works the best for your child is gonna help them be productive.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, I appreciate you being on the show again. It's always great to have you. And I am looking forward to coming out to LA, and I'm going to come and see you when I do. I promise you that, even if they have to etch me in for 30 seconds.
No, absolutely. We will always make it for you, Gina. I hope you make it to The Price is Right as well.
Come on down.
Come on down, Gina. You're the next contestant on The Price is Right.
Thanks, Dr. Laugeson.
Thank you. Good to see you.
So now we have Peers for Preschoolers, we have Peers Program, we have Peers Dating, and soon to be Peers for Careers. I have to tell you, whether you're neurospicy or neurotypical, everyone stands to benefit from something in the Peers overall platform, right? They've got something for every age group now. And Peers for Careers is really important. A lot of people just getting out of high school and college want to know, where do we go from here? So be on the lookout. These trainings, like Dr. Laugeson said, virtual and in person. So you can choose to go out to LA for a couple of days and enjoy, or you could go ahead and just do it in the comfort of your own home or your business. But I truly do believe, after learning all about the Peers program the first time Dr. Laugeson was on, everyone can benefit, and there is something for everyone. So every school, every hospital, everyone needs to be Peers certified moving forward, especially with the wave of folks now being diagnosed. So I thank you so much for tuning into Life with the Spectrum each and every week. You can like, comment, share, most of all, subscribe to the channel. And of course, you can always find Life with the Spectrum as a podcast wherever you grab your podcast. So until next time, we live life with the Spectrum. See ya. Bye.